I'm Trevor, and this is Jill, the Trevor and Jill Talk. We've been on a bit of a hiatus, but we're back. And at pre-election, of course, Jill and I have lots to talk about today. And we don't want to just stick to politics. There's a lot to be said about that, but we also want to talk about regular life and kind of looking forward and being excited, right, Jill?
I feel slightly excited. I want to make a toast to the Turkish-German couple, a married couple of doctors who came up with the vaccine for Pfizer.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And it was developed right here in Connecticut, Groton, Connecticut. And boy, oh boy, this could really be the game changer that we really needed.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like if I see that light on the horizon, then I feel much better. I mean, it's a brutal, brutal time. But reading about them, by the way, they fell in love over developing these things, and they even spent part of their wedding day in the lab. I just thought so amazing. But yeah, they could be the heroes of the world, this couple. Yeah. And some other vaccines are supposedly coming down the pike too. But just to start off with that bit of hope. And I know you want. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just love that an immigrant couple. There's so many positives and messages in here, which is we can do the right thing for humanity when we all work together. And given what's happened in our election, I really believe this country is saying we want to go forward in the most healthy, collectively positive way. And that's what hopefully this message is. We all start to understand each other. And believe me, I understand that 70 million people voted for Trump, but 75 voted for Biden. So here we have a pivotal moment. We have a vaccine that looks
on
like
the horizon.
Yeah.
We have a few things on the horizon. They're not here yet. We still have someone who has not conceded.
Right.
And I don't think he ever will, by the way. I don't think those words will come out of his mouth, but he'll just go.
It's interesting. I was reading about the Greenwich Economic Forum, which started, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. Ray Dalio spoke, but also Mark Mulvaney, who was a White House chief of staff for a period of time. And a couple interesting things out of that was Mulvaney is saying he only really has a couple weeks to play this particular card. Mm-hmm. And unless they have actual evidence, you can claim voter fraud, et cetera, for as long as you want. But really, he only has 2 weeks. And then he's got to start stepping back. So there's that. But also Ray Dalio had an interesting message, which was he sees the economy as coming back well, not exactly normal, but certainly being okay. And his desire that we or this new administration really addresses the two major issues of our time, which is income inequality, which is interesting. Ray Dalio, the richest guy in Connecticut, is saying that, and climate change. So
Ray Dalio is also one of the smartest people. And so he knows at some point, something's got to give. And I think we're at that point in so many ways. So, and healthcare, which I think did all right today, started to hear some rumblings that the Supreme Court is going to keep the ACA in most of its form. So I could be wrong, but that's what I just saw something on. So there's like so much news coming at us fast and furious. Trevor wanted to call this show Joy and Relief, and I was afraid that people might mix that up with another topic, because I have a bad mind, and other topics that we like to touch on too. But I do think that a lot of people, not everyone, of course, a lot of people are feeling some joy for the first time in a long time. I mean, we've sort of lost that joy this year with all the things that we've been going through, and some relief. And I don't know, how are you finding, in Connecticut, your world, your circle of friends? Because I have friends, from both. I've always had friends from both political parties, and I've seen some changes this year. How about you?
I've actually tried really hard this election cycle to keep it down, because I was so outraged. I was so upset, everything after Trump, it was like PTSD. So this time around, I was like determined not to get so upset and just kind of take whatever was coming. And I think I was better having conversations with my Republican friends. I know I've had discussions with different friends who have different viewpoints, and I think maybe it's just me. I'm a very tiny data point, but it felt like we were speaking in a way that was more even keeled, and we were listening a little better. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. My dog's whining here. I'm gonna have a quick.
I actually found that a lot of my friends, are you changing your dog? Okay.
She's crying.
I heard a
So
little
all right,
frantic.
let's hang out next to each other.
Our backgrounds are so funny. I was just thinking, here I am. What is my background? A bottle of wine and a bottle of wipes, a box of wipes, 2 boxes of wipes actually. That's all right. I found that a lot of my friends who are Republicans have been Republicans their whole life. Many who really never gave it much thought. They just were. That was what their families were. Switched this time around. Some of them voted all Republican except for president. And as I was saying to you before, I felt like a lot of them were extremely influenced by having their kids home for months in COVID.
Yeah.
And although I'm sure that's not a game changer in this election, it was kind of interesting to hear because a lot of people who never gave it much thought had kids who were so passionate about it, that talked to them so much about it, that they changed their opinions. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take on it. But I still have friends who back Trump for various reasons. And, so be it.
Yeah. Well, so in the spirit of let's understand, let's work together, let's figure out why 70 million people want, or there was aspects of what Trump represented that was important to them. And we have to make sure as a Democratic Party, as a people, that we speak to / respect one another. And again, I'm all for the American dream. I agree. If you work hard, you should be able to make it up and out. And that's why people immigrate to this country, to recreate themselves, to make it here, all that stuff that we are so proud of. And business is important, and we need to support business as Democrats. And I don't want us to be seen as just the tax and spend progressive party. I want to see us do the right thing for the right people, at the same time supporting business. Like, I don't see those two things as being separate. I think they're, and in fact, Wall Street is rallying because of Biden and, of course, the vaccine. But I even think that Wall Street wants to see real efforts on climate change. Absolutely.
Wall Street poured a ton of money into Biden's campaign.
Yes.
Goldman went on record saying Biden would be good for the economy. I have listened to call after call of Wall Street experts, most of them saying some don't even think it matters. That it depends what businesses you're investing in and what else is going on. There's so many factors to it. So, and also the party of spend, I'm sorry, it's not necessarily the Democrats if you look at the last 4 years and other times. So I think that the Republicans still remain good at messaging, and people have these ideas without really doing any research or looking into it. And also, it's kind of interesting listening to you, because I feel the same way. I'm so like, oh, let's reach out and understand. And I truly do feel like that. I just hope that we could have the same courtesy back. Because why are we always reaching out? Is anyone reaching out to us?
I know.
No, well, like everybody needs to. Come on. It's so,
pray for Georgia. Pray for the runoffs in Georgia.
I do. I pray. I don't know.
Those 2 seats and Kamala is the tiebreaker. We could really get a lot of stuff done. But okay, so switching from national to local, I just kind of want to say I'm really proud of our state, the state of Connecticut. First of all, Pfizer based, the Groton based, this vaccine came from there. But I've been recently personally looking for to purchase a condominium nearby, in specifically Greenwich, and you've never seen such a hot market. And relative to prices, because I've got family up in Boston, we're actually well priced in that, relative to that. Boston's
really hot.
Really hot. It's like San Francisco and parts of LA. Like, it's a hot place. So I'm kind of proud, and I feel like Ned Lamont has done a beautiful job running this situation, keeping good leadership through COVID. But I feel like we're kind of an up and coming state. I don't know. What do you feel? Coming back, yeah.
The commute. I think the commute. Well, there's so many things, that were hurting Connecticut, but one of them was obviously the commute that got so painful on Metro North and on the highway. And if people are not commuting 5 days a week, if they're not commuting at all, or they're commuting 3 days a week, then all the things that make Connecticut amazing become so much more attractive. And so I don't know. I've asked some realtor friends, like, do you think this is going to sustain? And they said it depends. Like, if there's a vaccine and people are like all going back to their offices for 5 days a week, then maybe where you live will, because you're down in Greenwich and that's like a much
close.
easier commute. Where I live up in Fairfield, it might get a little bit slower. But if it's not that anymore, and does it need to be that anymore, then I think people will say, like, I'll pick the place that seems like the great place. And, you know, to get into New York 3 days a week isn't such a big deal.
You're touching upon, I think, one of the biggest shifts, the sort of big disruptor of COVID, which is we all now discovered we can work just fine from anywhere. So the idea that you can choose where to live, where to raise your family, you're not going to have to, like, I was listening to some private equity guys sitting next to me at a table a couple weeks ago, and they're all talking about, well, that big office in New York, no longer. Small office here in Greenwich, small office in Florida. So we're going to have our families be living between those two places, and we're not going to be commuting, or certainly never to the 5-day week thing. So yeah, I do feel like this gives Connecticut even more legs. And I don't know if you know this, but Westport, of all the towns, is the hottest.
Out of control. I saw the statistics on it. It's the prices, the amount of things that are selling. Yeah. Well, it's an amazing town. You know, it offers so much. Mm-hmm. So if anybody was sort of thinking, I'm not ready to move, or that's maybe just a little too far, then all the things that town offers,
yeah,
you know, more than makes up for it, I guess, in this case. I feel like so many things are going to change. Like, for you as a therapist, people are with their families more. And they're not commuting as much, and they're not spending as much time in New York, and maybe going out after work. You know, I wonder how that's going to change a lot of family dynamic too. Or, you know, is it better? Is it better for couples? You know, or is it more stress? Who knows?
You know, it's such an interesting time, because just as you're saying, is we're being in a way forced to be together and relate and can talk to one another more than we ever have. And I'm seeing all sides of that. I had a couple who came in specifically because they were like, we've wanted to work on our marriage. We didn't have the time. Both of them had really high powered careers. Their kids are now in their teens, kind of ready to go to college. And they're like, we know this is one small time that we can really do a deep dive, and we can really try to figure it out. And
that's interesting in itself.
Awesome.
Like, I only have the time because it's COVID.
Right. I mean,
happen.
That they could identify that they get it in these really bad cycles. All of us, we know when we're in a couple, we all find that like groove. The fight could be about anything from, you know, socks on the floor to how much you're going to pay for a car. We always get into that same fight. We call it the content, and the bottom is the process. So it's just so wonderful for me to watch people want to come in and go, what is it about me and my reactivity? Why is it that I react to him or her this way? And when I'm really looking for is connection, but I don't know how to ask for it. I don't know how to do it. Please, can you help us or coach us and get us to a place that is better? So I've seen that side of it, which is really super cool. And I've seen the other side of it, which is just a blow up because they couldn't come together and be close
24/7 or
like that.
It's 7 or whatever.
Very tough. And you are at a place where you cannot listen to each other. You can't stop and slow down and have compassion and understanding. And you get to the point where you see one another's enemies. And that's super painful to see that as well. So I am seeing all sides of it, but I do think that COVID's been an incredible opportunity, if you look at that way, to find a place of deeper, greater, more intimacy and connection than ever before.
Okay, so this is putting something in my head. Is a relationship only meant to be, or only good, if it can be 24/7?
I think that.
I mean, if you're really not handling the 24/7 thing so well, but you handle the 8/7, right? You see each other 8 hours a day, 4 days, 5 days a week, but you have enough separation, but you have a great relationship then. Mm-hmm. Is that not okay? Or is it, you know, it's kind of.
Well, I do think that all of us, each one of us has a different tolerancy for the level of intimacy. Mm-hmm. You know, some of us really need that one-on-one constant, ooh, I'm connected and I've got somebody there for me and I feel safe and you're hearing me and loving me. And other people just really aren't that comfortable with that real intimacy, touchy-feely stuff, that it's just overwhelming. So and again, and this is family of origin stuff, like your tolerance for intimacy really comes from what you saw as a child, you know, how people responded to you when you were upset and sad. So all of that, I think, kind of folds into what our behaviors are. So whether 24/7 feels really good to you, and I do have couples who are like, it is so amazing, and finally I get to spend all this time with my person, and then other couples are like, whoa, it's just way too much for me. I have to go out and take a 3-hour walk some days because I need some space. So it's okay. There's no right and wrong in any of that. And it's okay to be able to say, this is my level and I need my space. And I need you to understand that that is not a reflection on you at all. It's just my own processing.
And well, that makes sense. That's actually a great answer. I think also it's really important in 24/7 not to get irritated by little things, because 24/7 with anyone,
anybody,
stuff comes up. I don't care if it's the person that's never annoyed you in your life.
Yeah, no, it is intense. It's an intense thing. And I do think figuring out ways to make time for yourself and self-care is important, whether it's a bath or, I don't, just for me, yeah, for me, it's walking or taking a yoga class online. But yeah, again, it's okay to check in with yourself and go, okay, where am I at? How am I feeling? Am I getting annoyed by this person? Maybe I do need some space. Maybe we can figure that out. And all that's okay. I think the most important part is communicating and just saying, I personally, it's not you are making me this feel, that I feel like I'm climbing the walls and I really need my own space. And that's okay. But a securely attached relationship, the other person's like, honey, I totally get it. You go,
in your car or for your walk.
I'll be here, or
right. For me, I mean, tennis has been a saving grace for me, just kind of to do something that felt kind of normal, and you didn't. Although now you need a mask inside for tennis.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I'm not playing indoor tennis, but I know people are. They've been tried. It just came up this week as with a lot of the new things. So there are some things that are going to even change there, but still better than not playing.
Hey, look, if we have a vaccine, and we hope that our cohort will be back, we will not be we're not the frontline workers, et cetera. But let's hope that we all start getting vaccinated within 3 to 6 months. That's pretty hopeful.
I'm telling you, Trevor, I can feel the alcohol thingy going out. Like I can visualize the alcohol and the little sting of the needle. Like I dream of it. I hope it's as good as they say, because
well, 90%
if we get to there. But in the meantime, everybody's got to behave, because it's not too good.
So, okay, so shifting into a little less heavy, weighty topics, I was so happy to see Kamala Harris in that beautiful white suit with a white pussy bow.
My girlfriend looked up. She's like, I want that blouse. Carolina Herrera, by the way. But I'm sure there'll be so many of those pantsuits and blouses.
But wasn't that beautiful? The dramatic, creamy, classy, and the suffragette, and of course the reference to Melania Trump wearing a pussy bow after Donald was called grab them by their pussies. So all around, I just loved it. It was a reclamation, if you will.
Well, don't you think, I mean, what's happened in politics and the news is it's really become like the new celebrities and the new movie stars, especially since there's not so much, new big movies. There's a few good ones coming though, but there's not so much with that now. So everybody I know has a crush on some anchor, on some news network. I don't know who mine exactly were. I was laughing and saying, like, I love Steve Kornacki. People love Steve Kornacki, or not. He's gay, by the way. But I know women and men who have a big crush on him because he's just so adorable and intense. And who's yours?
Well, you know what? This is really bad. I find myself, when I watch network news, I get so anxious. So I've chosen over this election cycle to just stay on my phone and read things off whether it's New York Times or Washington Post. So I've been reading articles, not specifically watching. So I had to wait and look at YouTube to see Biden, Harris, their speeches, that kind of stuff. So I've been kind of staying away from the day in, day out. Because again, I really made it this like effort to not be just so upset the way I was last time. So so far it's a strategy that's working for me. But anyway, back to like movies, and because we don't get to go to the movie theater, and we don't have the big movie, like Sean Connery died, he was so big, and 007 was so big. So now we're getting to watch movies on Netflix. So it's not going to be the big wow factor the way, we once had, big movie premieres, etc. And just a couple things that I've been absolutely besotted by was Queen's Gambit.
Me too.
Besotted. Like,
in fact, I just ordered a chess set. I'm determined. I don't really know how to play,
I
like
don't either.
barely, and it intrigued me. And I think that chess is such a metaphor in so many ways anyways, but that was a great show.
Great show. And then of course Schitt's Creek, the two of us, we were both Moira for Halloween, and I was crying buckets during David's wedding. I mean, loved it. And then there's a documentary on that now, the final
Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, there's a documentary on Netflix about the filming of season 6, which is wonderful too.
Good to know. There's also a lot of big movies. There's Hillbilly Elegy, which relates to almost everything we've been talking about, which Ron Howard directed. That's coming in a couple weeks.
And that's going to be released on Netflix?
On Netflix. And there's a couple of other that would have been like, they are the big Oscar contenders, such as it is right now, that are coming out. So there is some fun things to watch. Yeah. Oh, I'm impressed that you didn't watch the networks, because like I said, so many people I know that it's just funny to me, again, how many people refer to these anchors first names, oh, Nicole, oh, Ari, that never did. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, I'm just saying it's become so pervasive in our life following this whole thing. And you may not know an answer. I was going to ask you about Donald and Melania as a therapist. Do you predict anything, going with knowing what we kind of all know on a very, what we really don't know level?
We don't know. We can ascertain from her swatting his hand away, which has happened. I don't know. I've lost count. Who knows? And again, as a therapist, it's fun to think about it. But
difficult to be with somebody who loses, I'm sure even a CEO that's fired, that's been so prominent, or an actor that is, rejected or whatever. It's got to be such a difficult.
And maybe, God bless Melania, maybe she's going to have a lot of compassion and understanding for him and show up for him in a way that's very supportive and loving.
Maybe.
That would be lovely.
You're probably right.
But that normally that's what you would want to do, is you want to be the source of comfort and soothing for your spouse who, had suffered some setback like that. You'd want to show up and be like, oh my gosh, this is a really tough time for you. I want to be there. And we all know this. There's going to be times in couples and families that somebody needs more TLC than another. Yes. And in this case, with maybe love and compassion, she'll be that source of soothing for him. So wouldn't that be wonderful?
I'm sure that's what's going to happen. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. So speaking of love and compassion,
yes, ma'am.
You're going to bring on a guest, Robin Selden, who we've had on before, who's a caterer extraordinaire from Marcia Selden Catering. And it's because she is part of this amazing luncheon that's been going on for years, Women Leading the Way to Wellness, which is all about self-care and early detection for cancer. And they've really gotten so creative with, I'm going to bring her in. They've really gotten so creative with everything that they're doing relating to doing this as a virtual event. So hi, Robin.
Hi, how are you?
So we've introduced you as caterer extraordinaire and bringing back this luncheon in such a cool way this year, and that it is relating to early detection and prevention and self-care. And I'm gonna turn it over to you for the details.
Our luncheon is Women Leading the Way to Wellness, and it benefits the American Cancer Society. And what is so exciting, because we're all gals on this here, is that we are also, all the money that we raise this year is going to ACS's Research HERS, HERS. So it's all female researchers that are doing cancer research.
Cool.
And yeah, it's kind of amazing. And it's also empowering younger women who are coming up to give them funds to do this research and find the cure to all these millions of cancers that there are. I don't know about you guys, but this event keeps me in check. It reminds me annually to get all of my screenings, and we've done so much little fun things. Like we created a wellness box this year because we thought, wouldn't it be fun? You know how FabFitFun is so great, and you go through that unboxing, and So we reached out to people that have supported us throughout the years, and we've said, want to be a part of this. It's just another way for us to do fundraising. And everybody, like without hesitation, was like, I'm in. So
that looks fun, that box.
It's awesome. It is. I am so excited to get mine, and it'll be really fun because there's different things in there that are just, I don't know, just gonna make you feel really good. You know, and the most exciting is that we've done the homework for you. We've created a card that is probably the most important aspect of this whole thing, that has all of the screenings that annually you should get, that have a little box for you to check, and you can keep it on your desk or in your drawer, wherever it's best for you. And it's that reminder, and you just check down the list and you get them all done and make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Awesome.
That is
No.
I'm the hugest proponent. I'm kind of annoying about that to people, but this is amazing that you did that.
Yeah, I mean,
you mail that card out to people? Like, is that something you can just copy or print?
I think we're going to post after, because we've also made the decision to make this virtual luncheon free.
Oh, wow.
We thought it was really important to have inclusive, you know, like anybody who wants to go can show up and take a moment to choose themselves and take care of themselves and be inspired, laugh a little, have some fun, maybe cry a little, and we have a little virtual dance party at one point, and we're learning how, like in our boxes, Performance Physical Therapy gave us those stretch bands, and so they're showing us a couple of exercises that you can do when you're Zoom fatigued, like many of us are. So you're sitting at your desk that you can do. I don't know. I'm so excited, and I'm not going to tell you, but I basically had a little scare. And if it weren't for Women Leading the Way to Wellness and me checking off my different screenings, I don't even know what could have happened. And 80,000 people are going to be diagnosed with later stage cancer due to COVID because people are afraid to get their screenings.
Right.
I believe that. You know, I remember listening to Dr. Scott Gottlieb, like I always do. And he said, go in this, you know, make all your appointments for the summer if you can, because it'll be the best time. And I think I felt like I spent my summer going to the doctor's office, although I've been still going for a few things afterwards. And I don't feel nervous at the doctor's office. I feel like it's good and I'll be okay, and everybody will be okay. They need to go. It doesn't feel, don't you feel like fine in there? Like they're taking so many precautions and you can't risk this.
Yeah, I have felt very safe in the screenings that I've gone to. And I also, like you, have a couple that I'm doing. I have one next week. I'm going for my teeth. I mean, do you know you can get cancer in your mouth? Like melanoma shows up in people's mouths. People think it's just like to get scraped and hear that horrible, annoying drill. It's not just that. They're looking for other things, and people, that gets missed.
I am so impressed, Robin, that you're taking this time to lead the way for health and wellness. And my heart goes up. Even a small scare is brutal, and waiting for test results, there's nothing worse. And again, if we're there for each other and we remind one another, and Jill's been on this for a long time, the Bosom Buddies with Dr. Camelia Lawrence, and me too. I'm one of those people that I just did my mammogram last week. I'm right on it too. So, because we can solve so much early on, and not that these therapies are the easiest thing in the world, but we can survive a lot of stuff if we catch it early. So you are a warrior, princess, queen.
You're very sweet. I'm very proud of what we've done with this event. This is our 7th year, and we have a badass team of women that are involved and on our committee who have stuck with it, who've shown a lot of integrity, and they're like, you know what? It would have been really easy for us to just cancel this and postpone it for next year. But we all were like, when we put that up as a question, there was no question. There's nothing easy about getting cancer or getting sick. And like, we need to look out for for our friends, for our family, for our friends of our friends, and to continue that message. And I feel like relationships are so key right now, and showing that you care, right? Like, show that you care about your neighbors, your friends, and people. And this is a great way to do it. So I encourage anyone that's watching this to take an hour of your day on November 18th and join us, because you won't be sorry. It's choosing yourself. And we all are very busy, and even with COVID, we find ways to be busy, but it's okay to take a minute to like come down and choose you.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
You know, I for me, I feel like if you even, and you may not even know, if you save one person, it's worth it. And you might, and you probably will.
I know.
You know, you may hear stories of somebody that's reminded by this and tells you, oh, thank God I went. Or you may not ever hear a word, but you will have.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
you know,
for sure.
That. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So we'll post all the information, and there's not that many boxes left to buy, I saw.
I know, we made 220 of them, and I think we have like 19, and maybe one of them, I just got a notification, another one sold, so maybe we have 18 of them left. But they're, sorry for the dogs, but they're wonderful, and it's also a great gift to give. So if anybody needs a gift, for $125, you're getting about $400 worth of merchandise and things. You're getting a blow dry from the dry bar. You're getting gourd, you know.
Oh, I don't think that.
I know, we all could use a blow dry. So anyway, it's wonderful, and we're really honored that all of our supporters have stuck with us. And I'm so sorry that the dogs are going crazy, but that's what we're living through right now, right?
That's what I like about all this. I mean, I've liked just even watching television and seeing, you know, very famous people with their dog barking and their phone ringing. I think it's so much more interesting.
I love that.
So we will post a lot of information about this. Women Leading the Way to Wellness. It's always really interesting. It makes you feel good. And oh my God, it's key. So thank you.
Thank you so much, girls, for having me. I always love seeing your beautiful smiles, and I hope you'll join us on the 18th. And again, I'm so sorry for this, but
maybe he has something to say about this.
Well, thank you. I just do a quick plug for Robin. Marcia Selden Catering. We love it. Best of the best.
Amazing to go take home, put in your freezer.
Yep, first class. I have attended many events, luckily, that I have gotten to partake of not only the beautiful food, the taste of the food, but the styling and the presentation is out of this world. So just a quick plug.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. And
I think your dog, you must feed your dog your great food.
That's an amazing Thanksgiving menu.
Oh, nice.
I know. You don't have to do it all. So that's just.
I gotta go on your site.
Info at marciaselden.com, or me personally, Robin at marciaselden.com, and we'd be happy to share the menu with you.
Make it a little note. I think your dog wants some of your good food.
I know.
So
someone's walking by my house clearly. So anyway, thank you so much.
We'll be watching, and I'm thrilled you're doing this, and maybe we can follow up afterwards with some of the key things that come out of this luncheon.
I can't wait.
Go for your screenings. Please go.
Bye.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All righty.
All right, that was a great show. Thank you, Jill. We have lots of good things happening. We're going to be at the November 18th luncheon for Women Leading the Way to Wellness, and of course,
look how dark. Look how dark?
Yes,
got
the
while we
sun
were
went down. Exactly.
That is one thing I do not like.
I know.
I'm starting dinner at 5:30 and 6 o'clock outside now.
It's so dark. So, but again, we're always interested in what viewers are thinking and any comments or topics that you'd like to discuss, because Jill and I are always yakking away and wanting to hear what people are thinking and what's trending, and of course, all that good stuff.
Lots to get to. So anyways, to see you soon. We're back. Bye.
Bye.